Hi everyone, this is Terry at terryscraftroom.com. I'm glad you could join me today. Today we're going to make this beautiful, elegant card with the new Dragonfly Garden set from the new 2021 Spring Mini catalog. And this bundle comes with a punch with the dragonflies, and it punches out both a big dragonfly and a little dragonfly at the same time, and it punches both of these dragonflies out for the big one. Let's get started. So what you'll need, oh, here's the inside of the card too. So what you'll need is a piece of cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. So this card is going to open this way, which is a little bit different, not totally odd, but just a little bit different. Then we need 2 pieces of white cardstock, the first one being 4 1/8 by 5 1/2, the second one being 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to be on the inside. And then we need a piece of designer series paper, and this is the Dandy Garden designer series paper that we're using, and it is right here on page 25 of the new Spring Mini in that set. So this piece needs to be 5 1/2 by 3, and then we have a stitched rectangle that is approximately 4 3/8 by 3, and then a scalloped rectangle that is approximately 3 5/8 by 2 1/2. And what I've done with the scalloped rectangle is I've taken this stamp and I've stamped it on the rectangle already. We also need a couple scraps of white to stamp our dragonfly, which I've already done, and a scrap of Blackberry Bliss, which to stamp our little dragonfly, or not to stamp, but to punch out our little dragonfly. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we'll set these aside for now, and we're going to stamp our insides, and we're going to use the little butterflies here and the May Good Things Grow All Year Long. We're just going to stamp the butterflies in the upper left and the lower right hand corners, just like that. And so there's our inside. Now, what I'm going to do with both the dragonfly and my inside is I'm going to take some Wink of Stella, and I'm just going to go over the dragonfly, and you see how that is kind of smearing. Let me zoom in a little bit here. Now watch how this Wink of Stella just kind of smears that ink a little bit, just to give it a, you know how dragonflies' wings are kind of shimmery yet clear? This is what the look I'm going for here. And then I'm going to just go down his body with my Wink of Stella. And while I'm at it, I'm going to Wink of Stella my little guy, just to give him a little bit of glitter. And then I'm going to Wink of Stella my butterflies. And you can see how that's just, Blackberry Bliss ink is a really good one for smearing with Wink of Stella, because it really gives you a nice smear. There we go. We'll just let that dry. Let's zoom back out. There we go. Let's put those, set those aside. And now I'm going to take my flowers, and I'm going to use my watercolor pencils And we don't have a Blackberry Bliss watercolor pencil, but we do have Rich Razzleberry. And so I'm going to take the Rich Razzleberry and I'm going to color these cone flowers. And I'm going to speed up the video here because you don't need to watch me color the cone flowers and watch me color this whole thing. Now the last thing I'm going to do now that I've colored everything is I'm going to take my blend pen, my blender pen, and I'm going to blend out those watercolors so you don't see my pencil strokes. There we go. So there's my picture. Now we have all our parts and pieces together. So let's start assembling our card. Now this is the piece that was 5.5 by 4 1/8, and it is just going to sit just like this with just a hairline on either side. So let's go ahead and put that on. Okay, now if you noticed, I used wet glue on this one, and the reason I used wet glue on this one is because, well, today happens to be one of those days that my head is on crooked, or my eyes are crooked, or something, because no matter what I'm doing today, I'm putting things on crooked. So, on those days, I use glue, and the reason I'm using glue is so that, as you saw me do, I had just a second to straighten it up and make it look much nicer and much straighter. So the glue's a little bit more forgiving than like a tape runner when it comes to putting things straight on a card. But this piece I want to have dimensioned up, so I'm at the end of my dimensionals, so I'm going to have to cut these. Put this down in the middle, just like that. Now, I want this guy to have a little bit of dimension too, so I'm going to take my bone folder and just kind of, now that he's dry, I just want to bend his wings just a hair. And I'm going to put a couple dimensionals right here on his body. Just like that. And I'm going to have him overlapping the white part there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this little guy, as I'm going to bend his wings up a little. And I'm going to put him right here, flying over on the other side of the flowers. Now the last thing we have is our inside of our card. And there we go. There's our Dragonfly card with our new Dragonfly Garden set from Stampin' Up. I hope you've enjoyed today's card. I hope you would check out my website, terryscraftroom.com. I'll put a link right below with all the instructions for this, a direct link at terryscraftroom.com. While you're over there, I hope you'd sign up for my newsletter. I'll see you next time. Bye!